This piece of Lisa is being brought to you by Mutual Security Credit Union. Find out more at mscu.com. I don't care what side of the abortion controversy debate you're on, you're not going to like this story. It's a title report of the New York Times Magazine section yesterday called The 2-1 Pregnancy, written by Ruth Padawer, Padawer. A woman pregnant with twins can now decide to have only one. This is relatively new. In years past, doctors would not abort below 2. In other words, if a woman found herself pregnant with triplets or quadruplets, the pregnancies would be terminated within the womb to keep 2. But now women are able to only keep 1. Question, is there anything wrong with this choice? And the article tries to be fair-minded. It interviews doctors that will perform this. It talks about many doctors that won't. It talks about nurses that won't. It talks about patients, all of which needed to be anonymous, that have conflicting feelings. Gives you the example of a 45-year-old woman who finally became pregnant after a lot of fertility treatments to find herself pregnant with twins and realize that she couldn't handle twins emotionally or financially, so she aborted a healthy fetus twin. I gotta tell you, it doesn't smell right to me. It doesn't, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like a lot about what's happening with the choices that people are making, and an awful lot about what I call the commodification of birth. I'll take a uterus from A, an egg from B, a sperm from C, and I'll make a designer baby for myself. That's what I'll do. I'll take a sperm from a neuroscientist. I'll take a womb from a healthy 22-year-old. And I'll take an egg from a fabulous accountant lawyer with a great pedigree. And I am too old to make an egg. I don't have a husband to give me a sperm. And I'm too old to carry a child. But I'll have my baby. And my baby will be loved. And my baby will be cared for. And my baby will be happy. And my baby will be mine. And no, thank you. I'm not interested in adopting. Oh, I was interested in adopting, but I'm 45 and I'm single. And I can't get a baby. Because I made a choice in the years of 20 to 45 of my natural reproductive life that I didn't want to get pregnant with any guy that I saw, that I didn't want to be married, that I was divorced and unhappy, that I wanted to pursue my career, or I was married for a long time and I couldn't conceive, and by the time I turned around it was too late, and I had aged out of pregnancy naturally and aged out of being able to be a good applicant for an adoption, so I'm stuck with being childless. Every scenario and story has its own personal heartbreak. Every scenario and story on its own is very sympathetic, very sympathetic. But think about some of the consequences of where we've come to in 2011. How different are we from China if we allow otherwise healthy mothers to go in and say, I don't want both of these. I really just wanted a girl. I just wanted a girl, so just kill the boy. And how different is that than the idea that we allow abortion to begin with of one fetus? Because it's a continuum, and I've always been publicly very much in favor of reproductive rights for women, of being able to get abortions on demand when they needed them because they didn't want to have a baby. So how hypocritical am I to be saying I'm not comfortable with killing 1 out of 2, but I'm comfortable with killing 1? You see the slippery slope here? You see where it's leading? You see where it ends? It doesn't end in a very pretty or ethical place, does it? Isn't it a confusing place to be? I'd like to know your thoughts on this. The telephone number is 203-845-3044. I can argue a lot of things. I can't argue really that this is the right thing to do. And yet I'm going to give you the argument because the article is pretty thorough. And the doctors are now concluding that, you know what, on the whole, twin births are a lot more risky to mothers on average than single births. Birth rates can be low, complications can ensue, incidences of preeclampsia are much higher in twins than in single births, and especially for an elderly mother, a 45-year-old would be an elderly mother, the chances of that one pregnancy coming to fruition with a healthy child are greater if it's one baby than if it's two. I mean, you can make this argument to the nth degree. By the time we're done with all the genetic counseling and all the bad genes that we carry and all the gene screening, you would expect every person to come out of the womb perfect. But we have more and more kids with autism. We have just as many kids with fatal diseases. We've got a lot of childhood cancers. So I don't know that we're improving the human race per se, genetically, I mean. I don't know what we're doing. I don't. But this whole thing is a logical consequence of feeling like we can control every aspect of reproduction. Don't you think? It's a logical consequence, if we really think about it, of believing that we don't need to be in love to make a baby to begin with. So that's a clinical thing. Let's just go choose some sperm. Certainly, gay couples, men and women, but men less than women, have to go about creating a whole patchwork of different parts if they want to have a baby that has a genetic relationship to them. And again, notwithstanding the fact that these children are very wanted and probably very loved and taken care of, isn't that the bottom line, or is that the bottom line? That's really the question, right? Do we care about the results, the end justifying the means, meaning the end having welcome, healthy, wonderful, presumably healthy and well-loved children in the world? Is that what we care about? Because there's no indication that that's being compromised here. So maybe that's what we want. And maybe it doesn't matter if we kill a fetus in the womb on the way to getting there. It's confusing, isn't it? It's troubling. I mean, it should be troubling. These are ethical questions we haven't had to reach in the multi-millennium that we've had human beings walking this earth. But they say an awful lot about who we are if we consider ourselves human beings, don't you think?
You've just been listening to A Piece of Lisa. If you'd like to listen to the whole 2-hour show, please go to lisawexler.com, where all shows are archived. And do follow me on Twitter @Lisa Wexler. Thanks for listening.